Welcome back to Nerd Wars, and you guessed it, if you thought Hollywood had a bad 2023, just wait till 2024. But silver lining for Hollywood, they're not going to have anything coming out, so less flops, less money lost. I wonder if Hollywood's just going to eventually figure out, if we just don't make movies, then we can't lose money. So financially, it makes more sense to just not make movies. And then we can move Hollywood to like Montana or something, and we could actually get good entertainment again. It'd be great. The Hollywood Reporter, see you in 2025? Well, if World War III doesn't get us first, box office may take $2 billion hit next year amid delays. Well, if they actually put movies out, it'd probably be like a $3 billion hit. Hollywood's historic labor strikes are over, that they did at the worst possible time, but they may still jeopardize the fragile post-pandemic recovery. Let's see, it's the end of 2023. That started at the very end of 2019. It's been 4 years. As next year's theatrical calendar has lost a slew of tentpoles, well, what formerly used to be tentpoles. But we'll see how tentpoles do when Aquaman 2 comes out this week. Made $1 billion. I have a feeling it's not going to hit $1 billion this time. In a major blow to the post-pandemic recovery that somehow is still not recovered. Wonder if maybe they're just lying to us. Domestic box office revenue in 2024 is now expected to come in behind that of 2023. A reversal of fortunes no one could predict it. Going on strike for almost a year at the worst possible time. No one knew that meant we wouldn't have any entertainment in 2024. You get paid for this, Hollywood Reporter? If projections are right, domestic box office in 2024 could top out at $7.5 to $8 billion, compared to an expected $8.8 billion to $8.9 billion this year. So this is what Hollywood Reporter is saying, then I'm just going to go ahead and say $6 billion for next year. The culprit, a sparse release calendar, particularly during the first 3 months of the year. I decided to recently get addicted to comic books at the worst possible time. I also decided to become a movie reviewer at the worst possible time. It's a disaster, says one studio exec regarding the first part of the year. And the beginning of the year is usually when they dump all the junk, so the stuff that does come out is not going to be good. What movies have been pushed back? Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible, with the longest name possible. Captain America Brave New World, formerly named something a little different. I'm guessing by the time it comes out, it'll probably have another new name. And Disney's Snow White live action. Drop the trailer. Drop it. And Sony's next Spider-Verse film, as well as Blade, Elia, which I'd never heard of until just earlier when I was looking at this. Thunderbolts, recently addicted to comic books. I literally couldn't care less about Thunderbolts. It would, and Dirty Dancing, because we need a Dirty Dancing remake. So it's not just the pandemic and strikes, it's also that streaming exploded. Everyone's a streamer now. Everyone gets to lose millions to billions of dollars on streaming. At this juncture, no one is sure when or if the North American box office will return to pre-pandemic levels. It's never, ever, ever happening until Hollywood moves to Montana. Consumer interest in moviegoing has been permanently altered, and audiences are much more selective. Yeah, they aren't going to movies that tell them they're evil for being white men, or taking their kids to see movies that are trying to turn their kids gay. They're more selective and having their children's brains destroyed. The calendar for next year is in rough shape, and studios need to be clear-eyed. I don't know what that means. Like, do less of that? I don't know. The downturn couldn't have come at a worse time. Yeah, geniuses decided to strike at this time, considering that moviegoers are showing signs of life in terms of returning to the cinema in mass numbers for movies that are good and actually made for them. Wait, women like Barbie because they got to dress in pink and go out to the movies with their girlfriends? Weird. Why didn't they go see Lightyear? We cannot forget what we have achieved. We had a summer that was almost back to normal. Yeah, Barbie and Oppenheimer. We're not going to have a summer like that for a very, very long time, if ever again. I'd probably never again. Well, Montana. November revenue was down 43% from the 5-year pre-pandemic average. I thought the Marvels was going to save us. Oh, speaking of, the Marvels crashed and burned in the latest example of superhero fatigue. Yeah, superhero fatigue. Definitely not Marvel, DC, social engineer fatigue. Not people tired of bad movies fatigue. I mean, last year Spider-Man did well, but that was not superhero fatigue. while Disney's Wish was another huge miss for Bob Iger's studio. So what's Nolte over at Breitbart have to say about it? Report says Disney has already destroyed next year's box office. Yeah, that sums it up a bit better than the Hollywood Reporter. Thanks primarily to the Disney grooming syndicate. Nolte isn't the best on politics, but when it comes to Hollywood, he does a pretty good job, and Disney grooming syndicate is probably the best thing he's contributed. Hollywood is looking at a terrible 2024. I decided to become a movie reviewer for some reason. And until the industry and the sycophants who cover it admit to why their movies suck, things will only get worse. What do you mean? It's because of the pandemic. Nolte. So no, it is not uncontrollable outside forces dooming next year's box office. It's the fact that Disney has lost touch with its audience and is now producing content for the Harvard faculty instead of normal Americans. It's the fact that Disney's desire to groom and queer little children has annihilated what had been, for 98 years, one of the most trusted and iconic brands in marketing history. Made for children. Aimed at children. That's who they want their not-so-secret gay agenda for. Children. Weird. Weird. We actually start out with a good one. We got Deadpool 3, which is probably going to get delayed till 2025. Let's just be serious. Possibly Marvel's very, very last chance to make a profit. Furiosa, a Wayman Mad Max saga. Can't wait to not see that. Despicable Me 4 will, I assume, actually do well, because that studio actually makes movies for children, unlike Disney. Godzilla Kong, The New Empire. I was mildly interested in this. I like my big monster movies. And then I saw Godzilla Minus Zero, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to stomach this. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. A lot of people actually have liked these recent movies. I haven't seen any of them. Might have to, but it's just what, like the fourth movie? Good luck. Joker, Folie à Deux. Yeah. What? You thought Mission Impossible, Part 7, Deadest Reckoning of Them All, Part 1, Part 2 due out eventually.com. You thought that was a bad subtitle? French. Let's just go and make it so you can't even pronounce it. Genius. Also, let's make Joker a musical for some reason. Lady Gaga. National Treasure 3, which I assume is going to star the illegal Latinian, presumably. If Nick Cage isn't the main character, A Quiet Place, day one. Because we need another Quiet Place movie. The Garfield movie. Yeah, ask Bill Murray how he thinks that one's going to go. So I will say it does have Chris Pratt in it. And Samuel L. Jackson. I assume Samuel L. Jackson's probably the voice of Garfield. Gladiator 2, featuring people like Pedro Pascal. Kung Fu Panda 4 will actually probably be decent and actually made for children and probably make quite a bit of money, despite Awkwafina being in it. And Seth Rogen. The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling. It looks like 7 other of his movies, and I keep getting confused. When I first saw some marketing for this, I was like, this movie already came out though. Madam Web. It's like Spider-Man, but with women and no Spider-Man powers. She can see the future. Can she see how bad the movie is going to flop though? If they basically redid Monsters Inc. Argyle, I'm good. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Hey, they're finally gonna finish the second movie. Inside Out 2, The Queering. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Oh look, a movie that listened to the feedback from its audience and now has a third movie. Weird. Maybe you should listen to your audience. Untitled Venom sequel. It's Venom time. Beetlejuice 2, which has Jenna Ortega. And it's actually directed by Tim Burton. Probably will do really bad. Probably just be okay. But it's 2024, so okay is gonna look pretty darn good. Mufasa, The Lion King. Why? Oh my god, Bioshock. They're making a Bioshock movie. Rush Hour 4. Pokemon Detective Pikachu sequel? Okay, I low-key really like Detective Pikachu. Okay, hopefully this one doesn't get pushed to 2025. Community, the movie. I love Community, but you're bringing it back again? I even watched Community on Yahoo streaming or whatever it was. The movie? Deadshot? They're giving Deadshot... That's getting canceled or pushed back. Bad Boys 4. I'm just going to go and assume that's getting pushed back. Hellboy. We're getting another Hellboy for some reason. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. We're getting a Lord of the Rings animation from Amazon. I'm good. Wait. Berserker? Is Keanu's making a Berserker movie? Okay, that I might be interested in. Lilo and Stitch live action, assuming they don't have to cancel it for having the wrong skin tones. Twisters, oh my god, an update to the movie Twister, which the flying cow, I still think about that at least like once every 3 months for some reason. Borderlands by Eli Roth with Jack Black. I had to stop playing Borderlands 3 because it went so freaking woke. One of the DLCs was about a gay marriage. Kraven the Hunter. Looking forward to getting to review that and absolutely destroy it. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Did anyone even see the last Ghostbusters? Finally, a movie I'm actually interested in, Dune Part 2. We should have already gotten it at the end of this year. Like the only bad thing that came out of the strikes. So what are you most excited about? Mufasa the Lion King? Or Kung Fury 2? Tell me down in the comments. And what dying entertainment medium do you think I should get addicted to and do reviews for next? Have you heard of talkies? I'm thinking about starting to do some talkie reviews. Get access to exclusive videos and become a producer at my Subscribe Star. Links in the description.